Yeah, blood sugar regulation. So balancing your blood sugar in a way that supports your metabolic health, in a way that prevents any future disease, that helps your sleep, reduces glucose spikes, prevents type 2 diabetes, PCOS, a number of things.
Hey everyone, this is Dr. Barrett. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in functional nutrition. We can't wait to add value to your health as well as the health of your family. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, do me a favor. If you like this episode and you like hearing from Dr. B, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. We're really trying to get this health movement out. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. Today we have a very special guest, and she is sitting to the left of me. I will not ruin the surprise in the introduction. I will let Dr. B handle that one. But this is your host, Lane. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. And first off, if you came to the chronic disease workshop, we really appreciate that. We appreciate your attendance. And then also, if you are following and subscribe to the podcast, we really, really do appreciate that too. All the reviews, all the 5 stars, they really help with the algorithm. And B, we just looked, we're almost at 10,000 downloads, which is
wow,
amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It really is. It's really cool. And today's episode, I am sure, is going to be a huge episode because there's going to be a lot of value brought on today's episode.
Yeah, it's what we talk about every single day in the practice.
Absolutely. Let's do, since we haven't done this one a little bit, let's do and we didn't talk about this before, but we can do this real quick. Summer biohack that Dr. B recommends. Is there anything in the summer that people could be doing that's a biohack that's simple for them, their family, and their kids?
Walk barefoot outside.
I knew you were going to say that. So
did you?
Yeah.
Our guest gave the thumbs up too.
Yeah. Why do people walk barefoot?
Well, you just get the best bang for your buck for many reasons. During the summer, closer to the sun, so you're getting higher vitamin D production, and then barefoot is essential for. The term is grounding, or you can call it earthing, whatever you want.
It's earthing. Come on.
Okay, so but in essence, what you're doing when you walk barefoot is you are absorbing the natural magnetic resonance of the earth, which is called Schumann's resonance, 7.83 hertz. It helps balance the electrical system of the body. Your whole body is an electrical system. It's an electrical circuit, and it's why tumors are caused by cell phone radiation, and it's why tumors are caused by 5G exposure, and
which they're everywhere now.
It is. So you have to rebalance the nervous system, and there's a lot of ways to do it. But one of the best ways, actually the best way, is literally planet Earth. What God designed for us to create balance is just walking on the earth with our feet. So a lot of benefits, right? Outside, vitamin D, feet is going to give us a ton of proprioception to the brain, a lot of sensory input to the brain. And people that don't like to walk bare feet usually have ADD, ADHD, they're restless, they're anxious. So it's a great way to calm the nervous system down. And then obviously they're getting the benefit of the resonance of earth.
Usually we'll do that first thing in the morning. When I wake up, I'll go outside, and for some reason after it rains, I'm sure, in thunderstorms, I've heard some things that after a thunderstorms, it's even better to walk outside barefoot.
Yeah, there's a higher amount of free electrons for the body to absorb when there's a thunderstorm.
Amazing. If you do that and you're listening to the podcast, make sure you go on Facebook or Instagram, snag a picture of just your feet in the bare ground, and make sure you tag us on Instagram and Facebook at the Real Health Podcast, Armor Health, or the Health Factory. I think that'd be really cool as well.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see that.
And then really cool, I don't even think I've told you this story. I don't think I've told you guys this story. So a couple weeks ago, we were down at the Knoxville's Farmers Market. Have I told you this story yet? And we were walking around, and there was a stand of down at the farmers market, and we were talking to this couple. They were an amazing couple, and it was Holy Farms. And we started talking, like, yeah, we listened to this podcast, Dr. B. And I was like, no way. So we got into talking.
Really?
Yeah, so they are listeners of the podcast. They're probably listening to this right now.
Yeah.
And they're huge listeners. And you can go to their Instagram, their Facebook, and they have, I mean, they're
Tell me about them.
They're self-sustained.
Okay.
They grow all their stuff at their house. And we got some stuff from them, Chelsea and I. We got some lettuce, I think some spinach, and
Are they just vegetables, or are they chicken, eggs?
vegetables right now.
Okay,
And they're going to
cool.
get into all that stuff. And so I told them, I said, we need to get you in here and introduce you to Dr. B,
Yeah.
because it's so funny. They're like, yeah, we listen to this podcast that's local. And they were like, Dr. B. And I was like, are you Real Health with Dr. B? And they're like, yeah, how do you know? And I was like, well, I'm at that. They're like, no way. And so there's
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we'll have to get them in here sometime.
You told me just recently before the show started, we're about like 1,300 listens almost downloaded on water fasting. That was the most popular episode by far. When you think about only having 9,000 to 10,000 downloads, 13% are coming from one episode.
I know.
It's substantial.
Maybe we should just do a water fasting podcast.
That's exactly right. I can only talk about water so much. Although, really cool, there's this new device. What's it? It's called Arcalima. Arcalima, I think is the name.
Okay.
So it's a crystalline structure. You put in your water and you wave it around like a wand.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds really
my gosh.
really funky. But it actually harmonizes the water.
Mm-hmm.
And creates balance, and it's been shown. So they did a study using telomere testing. So telomere testing just tells you how old your cells are.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was shown to be so after 3 months of drinking this electrically balanced water,
okay,
it improved or decreased your age by a minimum of 1 up to 12 years.
Do you have one yet?
He's different. I was like, order that sucker.
So
got me.
Do we need to put that in the show notes?
The Arcalima?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should have an episode on it because I want to do some more vetting and some personal research on it before I announce it fully.
How do you say it?
I think it's called Arcalima.
Arcalima?
Yeah.
Well, give me about 2 weeks and then I'll probably be at our house too.
Yeah.
Just like every other thing.
Yeah,
except for the Japanese tea. We have never ordered that, so we're not going to order that one either.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That is a very good call. All right, today's episode is all about insulin resistance, reversing type 2 diabetes, and we have a very, very special guest. So with that, I'm going to let Dr. B introduce this amazing guest because I get to hear her speak at events. I get to see her in and around the office, and she is a light. She is amazing, and I know Dr. Barrett's going to do a good job of introducing her. So with that, Dr. B, who do we got today?
Yeah, so we are joined by our Health Factory Armor Health nutritionist, Caitlyn Tate. So she's a huge asset to the growth of our company. She spends so much time researching, investigating health topics, and obviously her passion is nutrition and how to use food to balance the body. Not seeing food as a reward, but seeing food as energy and as fuel. So welcome, Caitlyn, to the show.
Thank you. I am honored and humbled to be here, so thank you for having me on, Dr. B.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. We really brought you on the show because this is your bread and butter. This is what you are passionate about. This is what you think about and walk clients through all the time. So
every day.
Yeah, it is. So it's a good thing to not just hear Lane and I talk about health topics, but actually bring someone in that is doing this on a day-to-day basis. Because you talk about this more than I do. Because you're on the ground, on the ground walking with clients through the journey. So when you hear blood sugar regulation, just that concept, that word, what does that mean for our audience? Like when we think about blood sugar regulation, what should we be thinking about?
Yeah, blood sugar regulation. So balancing your blood sugar in a way that supports your metabolic health, in a way that prevents any future disease, that helps your sleep, reduces glucose spikes, prevents type 2 diabetes, PCOS, a number of things.
How big is blood sugar regulation when it comes to chronic disease?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Every single time your blood sugar spikes, causes a glucose spike, insulin is released. Insulin is a driver of so many chronic diseases. So the more we can regulate our blood sugar and decrease those insulin spikes, that amount of insulin that's floating around in your body, the more we can prevent chronic disease.
So insulin production, if we make too much of it over time, we call that type 2 diabetes, right?
Right.
Because what happens if we're constantly spiking insulin? What's happening to the body? What's causing diabetes? And inevitably, how do we get to that state where now our blood sugar is elevated constantly?
Right. Yeah, so the more insulin that is pumped out by the more glucose spikes you have in a day, so your blood sugar response. The more insulin that's pumped out, the more insulin resistant you can become. Every single time there's a glucose spike that causes inflammation in your body. So insulin resistance in combination with inflammation, that's what's creating type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, if Lane was literally in your seat, he'd be, you talk about, hey, there's inflammation again, because it's so true. Inflammation's at the core of so many chronic diseases. Yeah. So we have insulin resistance caused by really too many insulin spikes that burns the cell out. And then we also get burnout of the cell receptors because of high inflammation. What would you say are most of your clients' big sources of inflammation coming from?
Yeah, so a really big one that I see, we've got inflammatory oils, so your fried foods. We've got not enough sleep, chronic stress. Like they, on a scale of 1 to 10, their stress is constantly at like a 7 to 9 on a daily basis. Gluten happens to be a source of inflammation for a lot of people just based on what I've seen with my clients. When they take it out, what they have found is a huge decrease in inflammation and then an increased stabilization in their blood sugar.
What was the, I don't know if you remember off the top of your head the study, but they pretty much sleep deprived people for a certain amount of time, and they became insulin resistant. Yeah. In essence, they were pre-diabetic within just a few days of reduction of sleep, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are getting less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your blood sugar, your fasting blood sugar, so that's your blood sugar when you wake up in the morning, is elevated. And that's not just when you are on lack of sleep, it's also when you are highly stressed. So you're stressed about like taking your kids to all of their sports practices, when you have like a super high demand job, there's a lot of like emotional or family stress right there. Any of that can elevate those fasting blood sugar levels, and then you're at that pre-diabetic level, which is not unreversible. It is, right. But you just have to be careful and pay attention. Yeah,
one of the things that I love about having you with our clients is you and I see things very similar. We're longevity, we're anti-aging concept, we're holistic. We use food as fuel, not as a reward.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is so important and all-encompassing for true health and healing. Versus, we're just going to call it out because it's very common. Let's talk about like macros.
Yeah.
Just for a second.
Okay.
2 minutes. So when we talk about macros, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter sometimes what the source of fuel is, as long as it fits your macronutrients. And a lot of times it's not about timing. It's, hey, you can eat multiple times a day, multiple insulin spikes. So you get weight loss a lot of times because you are watching calories. But where does blood sugar regulation, metabolic flexibility, right, anti-aging, how does that differ than like the classic macronutrient macro counting?
Yeah, so I would say what I've seen with macro counting is you can pretty much eat anything within reason that fits your macros, right? So as long as it fits your macros. So I see a lot of clients who have counted their macros. One, it's not super sustainable for the long run, right? Like, are you going to count your macros for the rest of your life? Like, you probably don't want to do that because you want to be able to go to a family function, have some flexibility, vacation, on the run, and not be able to, or not have to bring like your container of food. But also, a lot of the foods that are macro-friendly are highly, highly processed. And we see a lot of inflammation when we are eating all these processed foods. Or, on the other hand, you've got like the sugar-free syrup, right? So it might not have many calories, but it's got corn syrup. It's got artificial sweeteners.
Yep.
I like to tell my clients that, okay, if you flip the label over and you just read the ingredients, can you tell what the food is just by reading the ingredients? The answer is no. Like, you probably shouldn't be eating it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then balancing your blood sugar, that's like, okay, I'm able to put a meal together. I can do this for the rest of my life. It's easy, right? Like, I love to tell my clients, pick a protein, a healthy fat, and a fiber, because those are the three things that slow down the absorption of sugar into your blood. So if you pick those three components in every meal, then you're going to be good to go. And 3 meals a day, no snacking. When you have those three components, you're not going to need a snack. So like one really cool thing, I actually had a client the other day tell me this.
Was it James?
It was James, yeah. Shout out to Mr. James. So we talked about this a while ago, and he started to incorporate this into his meals. He also started to eat his fiber first, so his veggies, and then his protein and fats, and then any carbohydrates last. And after doing that for one day, he stopped needing that mid-morning snack of a banana.
Awesome.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. So, okay, that is amazing. And then, two, someone on the podcast would be like, well, what's wrong with that mid-morning banana snack?
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that?
Okay, so when you eat I call it a naked carb. When you eat a naked carb, so that's any carbohydrate, any sugar, without any protein, fat, or fiber with it, that's a huge glucose spike with nothing to slow it down, right? So like I said, protein, healthy fat, fiber, those are the things that slow down that absorption of sugar into your blood. So you're getting that glucose spike. When your sugar comes back down, right, if it goes up, it has to come back down. That's when you are you're hitting that like 2 p.m. crash. You're feeling like you need caffeine. You're craving more sugar or more carbohydrates. So you actually end up hungrier in the long run when you are needing that mid-morning carbohydrate or sugar-filled snack.
So, and what I see a lot is the secondary hypoglycemic response.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, a lot of fit females that don't have excess body weight, that may have things like PCOS and hormone dysregulation, have what's labeled hypoglycemia. Yeah. And they just think that's like a genetic disorder. Like, hey,
absolutely.
I was just born with hypoglycemia. So, we're obviously talking about hyperglycemia, type 2 diabetes. But for a second, let's talk about hypoglycemia. So it's when you eat the banana and then maybe like an hour later, 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, you get shaky, irritable, sweaty, and you need another banana. So tell me about the hypoglycemic response.
Yeah, I was one of those people that you were talking about with the hypoglycemic reactions. For years, doctors told me I was hypoglycemic when I was like probably 12. Oh, your blood sugar drops really quickly, but wasn't told what to do with it. So you feel that shakiness, you feel hangry, and so you need a snack. Typically, when you're in that state of mind, you're not able to make rational decisions, so you just go for like the quickest, most convenient snack that's available, which is probably not like a protein, fat, fiber snack or meal.
That's right.
So you're grabbing that quick snack. It's feeding that hypoglycemia. So then you're having another big spike and then another low drop. So if you are getting all of these spikes and then low drops during the day, then you're on this blood sugar roller coaster where your energy is up and down all day. You find yourself needing more caffeine. You're eating, 6 to 8 meals a day, between like full meals and small snacks.
That's right.
And then it's just feeding that response to where then you need to eat like every 2 hours. And you think that's just like how you are. And that's not true.
So then all of a sudden there's a fasting podcast that comes out and you're like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. But obviously, let's just put it out there. We talk about what's the litmus test of metabolic flexibility. It's fasting.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So if we can fast, if we can go without food and feel well, we know we're metabolically flexible. So when you hear that term, okay, we're going from this state of like insulin resistance or hypoglycemic responses, and now we want to journey along this path to metabolic flexibility, blood sugar balance and regulation, okay, which drives hormone balance, which drives healthy sleep habits, drives healthy energy habits, helps with fertility outcomes, decreases Alzheimer's, dementia, and cancer, and heart disease, and you name it. All those amazing things.
Yeah.
Okay, where do we start? So for you, with your client, what's the first step that you communicate with your clients in bringing blood sugar regulation back?
Yeah, probably the first thing after we go through, some foundational things like, making sure you're getting enough sleep and you're drinking water and that your stress levels are in check, right? We talk about formulating a meal so that you have protein, fat, and fiber in every meal, PHFF, protein, healthy fat, fiber. So that would be one thing.
Okay.
Another that I just love is when you we say 3 meals a day, no snacking, because the longer you can go in between a meal, the more balanced your blood sugar is going to be, the more time you have to digest, clear out your intestines. But one thing I love to say is 10 minutes of walking after a meal can do wonders for your blood sugar.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be walking. It can be like a little HIIT workout, Tabata, whatnot. I love this cardio dance thing I do after I eat dinner.
That's not surprising. I'm not surprised right now. Pretty stoic face over here. Dance,
Listen,
workout.
They're like 4 minutes long, and I'll just do
Justin
it until
Bieber
it's like
playing.
20. I'll do it for like 25 minutes, and I'll keep checking my continuous glucose monitor numbers and see. I'll just watch the glucose spike coming down. This is after I've eaten a meal with carbohydrates, because I tend to stick those at dinner. Yeah,
you nailed it. It's something I recommend all the time. Is that little bit of movement after your dinner helps with digestion, helps with absorption of nutrients, helps and balance and regulate your blood sugar levels.
Yeah. So what the science of like what's actually happening here. So the blood sugar, the sugar in your blood, it can't just stay there, right? It has to go somewhere. So glucose, it's either stored in your liver, it's stored in your muscles, or it's stored as fat. So when you are using your muscles right after you eat, your muscles are using that sugar for energy. So then it's decreasing your fasting blood sugar.
Yep, I love it. That's awesome. So, okay, hey, take-home message, balancing blood sugar. We want 3 meals a day, no snacking, improve sleep, improve hydration, and PHFF. Yeah. So that's protein, healthy fat, fiber. And man, I agree with you on the meals. I think it is something where we want to, if we're eating 3 meals a day, we're going to be hungry at the next meal. So we're going to usually go off of what we want versus what is probably best to consume first. So that fibrous carbohydrate is really, really good to consume first. And it's creating a little bit of satiation as well. And then we get into the protein, and we get into the fat, and then, if there's a little bit of extra carbohydrates, we may or may not want that at the end of the meal. But when we look at, that's general public, but let's go biohacker for a second, just touch on them. So when I fast, twice a year, like extended fasts, I always will throw a CGM. So what we're doing there is it's a device that looks at blood sugar 24/7. So it's a constant blood sugar monitor. And you set it up to your phone, and it allows you to see your trends in blood sugar. And we want that not hills and valleys. We want a very kind of flat line with little elevations as we eat. And then at night when we sleep and we wake up, it'll get down, especially when I'm fasting, to blood sugar in the 40s, and then ketone levels start to rise. So the CGM, how have you found it useful for yourself as well as clients that you recommend it to?
Right. So finger prick is great for testing your blood sugar once or twice, right? But it's really just a snapshot in time. It also kind of hurts your finger because you've got a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah, I love it.
Continuous glucose monitor, though, the numbers can vary a little bit different than a finger prick because it is in the interstitial fluid in your arm instead of in the blood. So the numbers would not be the same as like a finger prick if you tested at the doctor, but the trends are the same.
That's right.
And that's really what you're looking for here, to manage those trends. So it's going to track your glucose throughout the whole day, so 24 hours. I have loved it because it's one thing to hear, okay, this is what I should be doing. It's another thing to see what's actually happening in your body yourself. Like, it's another thing to see the data and be like, oh my goodness, I did not realize that eating this piece of blueberry pie made my blood sugar spike up 55 points.
Or that post-workout protein.
Yeah.
Or that banana.
Yeah.
Or even,
what happens?
Yeah. Or even a banana in your body versus a banana in my body.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dr. Barrett, you could eat a banana and be fine. Maybe your blood sugar goes up 15, 20, and mine goes up 45, just an example. Everybody's different. And so if it's going up pretty high, you might have some insulin resistance there.
Yeah.
So it's good to see what's happening in your body. I'll say one thing that really surprised me with mine was I went to a Mexican restaurant a few weeks ago, and you always start out with chips and salsa.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Blew you up.
The app I use scores your meal. It gives you a metabolic score for your meal based on the 2 hours following your meal, based on your blood sugar levels for the next 2 hours. And I think I scored like a 4.
Wow, you crushed it.
4 out of 10. It was terrible. And I just got like a normal meal, but it was the chips and salsa starting out with those like hydrogenated oils and carbs.
Yep. So not only are you getting a bunch of carbohydrates that are affecting your blood sugar regulation, you're getting hydrogenated, rancid oils that are industrial produced oils that are creating havoc and inflammation
blood sugar.
Guacamole
exactly would have been a better option if you're going to have chips and something else.
That's exactly right. Hey, it's so good to have you on the show talking about what you talk about every day, helping people on this journey that may be, hey, I have PCOS and the doctors told me there's no hope, or I have type 2 diabetes, or I'm pre-diabetic. What do I do? So what's the best way to connect with you and starting maybe a conversation about their nutrition and blood sugar management?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can submit a form on Armor Health or Health Factory, but we're actually starting a metabolic program.
Yeah, we are.
Soon, where we will be improving metabolic flexibility, stabilizing blood sugar to decrease weight loss resistance. It's going to be a few months program, accountability. It's going to be really great.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And I'll just, as a kind of operator owner, extend a discount that if anybody calls based on this podcast and wants to set up a nutrition consult with you, we'll give them 10% off that first visit, where we'll connect with them and help them walk on the journey to optimal health and healing. So thanks so much. We really appreciate your time. You crushed it. Yeah, we're going to have you back on future episodes for sure.
Thank you.
Hey, and if you are in the area, obviously you can connect with Caitlyn at one of our locations, Armor Health or the Health Factory. And please share the podcast. Let people know that we're here and we're doing this for you. Really, there's very little that we get out of it other than the stories on Instagram or the messages that we get on how beneficial these have been. So please let us know if you have any questions or if you want to, communicate any potential topics for future episodes that Lane and I can do. We'd love to do it for you. All right. Till next time.
Before you hit X, hold on 1 second. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today with Dr. B. 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast movement. 1, share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And 2, if you go to Apple Podcast and you scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and give us a review. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next episode.